Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Time Trial Tuesday. Today's a big day because I've officially started my triathlon training. I did some swimming yesterday, did some running last week, did some biking on the weekend. I'm back to kind of fitness peak, I feel like. So I'm interested to see what actually happens today on the bike. But the Tour de France has officially begun. Today we had stage 4. Tadej Pogačar absolutely stomps on Jonas Vingegaard. I wouldn't say stomped. Jonas put out some really good watts. I'm excited for this year's tour. Jonas looks healthy. He looks fresh. He looks good. And Tadej obviously always looks good. Hoping both of them stay very healthy, fit, and also stay away from injuries for this tour to just make it the best tour yet. Anyways, we are going to be rocking our Red is Faster kit, my Z-Sun squad. Zwift Club represent in an ITT today. I'm excited for this one. I'm actually not 100% positive that people are going to be there today. I never got an email about updates, and they said there were some ride leaders that might not be available this week. So it might just be us, but we're still going to be up against the clock and hopefully get a new PR. Like I said, I've been training a lot. So let's just get to the course. Let's do a quick weather talk and see how the legs are as we're warming up. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how do you like the kit? The kit looks pretty nice. We're on our warm-up. Quick 5-minute warm-up. Forgot our goos, forgot our waters. So we're going to be out here grinding tonight. It's a little bit of wind, much cooler than it has been the last few times I'm down here, the last few weeks, which is nice. I think there's going to be quite a few guys here today, so I'm excited to see what we can get today, and hopefully our legs can wake up in time for this ride. So let's get into the starting position.
3, 2, 1, go, John.
Oh, I missed the pedal. I'm not clipped in yet. Oh, fucking disaster start. Alright, so after quite a brutal start here, I'm really enjoying the feel of my Z-Sun kit today. I was feeling really strong even though I've been swimming and running and I biked over the weekend with not a lot of break. I felt good, I felt strong, and my goal today was to test out the drop bars. The first minute and a half, 3 minutes, whatever I could do, whatever I could feel comfortable with being on top of the hoods like I typically am, and then I was going to drop into the aero bars and see if that would help me whatsoever. So right here is where I finally switched down to the aero bars, and it was honestly quite smooth. We had a headwind at this point of the ride, so it was a little unusual. Typically we have a headwind on the backside coming from our left, which hinders the back side of the route. So the first part of this, I had to go a little harder than I typically do, watt-wise. I knew that I needed to get aero, and hopefully I'm able to catch Ken, who's ahead of me. There's 2 people that started ahead of me in this, and then there's about 4 people behind me. And we met a few new people, which was awesome. But anyways, as we continue on, like I said, I felt very strangely in a similar boat to last week, where I was using a lot of effort in this first part of the route, and that's something that I kind of didn't want to do this time. I kind of wanted to save most of my energy for the second half of the TT and then absolutely empty the battery. But like I said, with this wind, I had to use a little more than I thought I did. And the Amanda felt good. The kit felt really good. I felt fast today. And like I said, I was about 2 seconds up on my time going into the first turn. which we're going to show right here in a split second once I get there. And, you know, one of my goals today as I start coming out wide for this turn, I check for any cars. We are clear, and we are going to absolutely get a really good turn there. Kind of dipped into the gravel area, so slowed down a tiny bit, but it's not going to affect my time that much. And at this point, the wind wasn't really getting to me, so I decided to pull off the pedal a little bit. Kind of save my energy. I imagine I'm hitting like 230 watts at this point, maybe 225. For me, at this point in my life, I guess it's quite good training wise. But I start dipping down into about even with my 26:11 time that I got a few weeks ago. So I knew that I had to pick it up. So right after this little turn, we have an up. We basically have a little bit of a hill, so I start pushing it harder and a little bit faster, and right about here is where I get to about 4 seconds ahead of my time, which I was actually quite surprised with. I guess my PB, I was a little tired going into the second half of this route, which also means that there's time to be found in this second half. So even if I'm behind on the first part of the TT, there is a decent amount of time to be found. So I can't get discouraged if I'm ever behind my time, even though I was completely above my time going up into the second and third turn. Now the turn coming up is completely blind, which is tough. So I make sure there's no one behind me, cars or other TTers, and you're trying to see through the trees on the left here, and also trying to take that steep line to stay as close as possible to that white line. Luckily, there's no cars, and I didn't think it was that great of a turn, so I ended up picking up the pace here and trying to catch Ken, because I can somewhat see his little red dot ahead of me. And going into this fourth turn, I went quite wide on it. I wasn't too pleased with it, but I was going quite fast into it. And this is kind of where my ride starts to pick up. I quickly look down at my Wahoo at this point, and I'm pushing about 10 seconds ahead of my time. So that means either those turns were actually pretty good, or I'm being able to put down the power at an even pace at the point of the ride where I don't know if I was too tired the last time I was doing this. So I was very confident as I continuously looked down at my Wahoo to see where I'm at. I know I was breathing quite heavy at this point, but there was only about 4 miles left in the route, and my legs were feeling to a point where I can keep going, I can keep pushing and not really have an issue with it. So I was very excited to get towards the end, and at this point I'm about 14 seconds up on my time, and I know that I only have 2 right turns left, and I need to make them count. If I can squeeze through this turn and then absolutely rifle one down the final hill, I'm going to be golden. So we're going to mute me, and you're going to see what happens here.
Ah, fuck! Fuck! Oh.
So, yeah, I end up crashing, and I mean, we're going to break it down right here. This little wet spot with some gravel on the ground is exactly where my back leg seems to just come out. That's what happens to my wheel. I slide down, and I'm extremely disappointed about it, but here's the rest of the ride.
Hello.
4 people.
What's going on, dude? What happened?
Yeah.
Went too hot into that second to last turn.
Oh, you went down. I see your leg.
My back wheel completely swept out on me.
On Smith Ridge?
Second to last.
Yeah.
So that around the corner and then not the right.
Before I even hit the right, I was like coming through. And...
I see him standing there. I saw it.
Dude, you all right?
Oh, I'm in pain, but yeah, luckily I'm okay. Get the bike checked out this week, and
Oh, the shift?
Yeah, it shifts, but
What'd you hit on?
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Doesn't look too bad.
Usually you take it. You hit on this side right there.
I
scuff
bent
there.
my handlebars.
You did drag your lever a little bit.
You got a little on the rear derailleur.
That's not too bad.
But you put the elbow down to save your bike. Good
meat
move.
before metal.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad I didn't
before
break
metal,
it.
Before
guys.
metal, yeah.
No heel. The bike costs too much.
My fiance will kill me if I broke something. We have our wedding in like 2 weeks, so
Oh,
I'm in a sling. She would. This is not the
doesn't
thing I
look
should
too
be
bad.
worried about.
Doesn't look too bad.
yeah, you can kind of.
I was 14 seconds up on my time, and I was closing
Really?
in on you, and I was like, I gotta whip it.
Oh,
Yeah, it was such a dumb thing to do. Like I knew I was too hot into that turn.
I'm still lost on which turn. Is it Smith Ridge or is it where that? Which turn?
probably onto Smith Ridge.
Yeah.
Not the one where you take the sharp. You come out. You take the sharp right.
War Road
And
to
there's a
Smith
bridge right
Ridge.
there. It's the next one after that. That road. At the end of that road. It's the last. It's the second to last turn.
Yeah.
More to Smith Ridge.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely
a piece of
noth-
cake
nothing
corner. I
to
don't know
it,
how you
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, I
I'd
was
have to-
It's slightly uphill.
That's
after
impressive.
Yeah.
And
It's
you can-
uphill
and you
wide
can see-
open.
Yeah, and you can see through that corner.
I know.
So you can kind of
That's why I took it a little too fast. I saw nothing was there, and I was like, I'm
Did
willing
you
to.
hit anything? A stone or something?
I must have hit some gravel or something.
Well, you got narrow tires too, and probably.
Well, that was a disappointing end. Yeah. I'm hopefully okay, I think. I took quite the tumble. My leg is killing me. My arm hurts a lot. I don't think anything's broken, which is good. I thought my thumb was at first. I could barely move it. Tons of pain. Then I thought it was dislocated, but it's working. It's fine. Just road rash, not fun. Got to get home, and then I don't know. That's tough. It's mentally and physically tough to crash, especially because I was up on my time, and all I want to do is train harder. But I gotta let things heal. So I'm hopefully gonna be doing another time trial, maybe on Swift next week. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm just gutted. I'm lucky enough that nothing worse happened. I didn't break my bike. I hope. But man, that's rough. It's rough to take. So we'll see you guys next week. Sorry for the crash, I guess.